Ramdev, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Glad you could join us. Ramdev, the big concern is Rupee, which is weak. But Mr. Raghuram Rajan takes over as the RBI governor today. Do you think he can help turn around this sentiment?
I think let's see slew of actions which are going to come on the back of new governor coming in, and what's his thinking, about the markets, what he thinks about sustainable current account deficit, because he has got tremendous mind to think on the global economics, global monetary situation. He was the person who predicted 2007 Lehman crisis, so he can see the fault lines in Indian economy, and I would be very interested in seeing what exactly he has to say, and then eventually what actions come.
Ramdev, so at a time when macro and global concerns are mounting, fundamental concerns are weak, what really could be the turning point for our markets? When do you think we will hit a durable bottom? It's been a one-way street, and this kind of an carnage cannot continue endlessly.
My sense is right now our problems are emanating from our own currency. So whatever leads to stabilization of our own currency would be most important. And more than whatever anybody says, the trade on the floor must change, in the sense that stabilization should come on the floor. I mean, whatever with the policy announcement, but if rupee is down by 2% or up by 2%, it will have its own repercussion. Because I have seen the investors out here, and everybody is jittery about. I mean, they don't want to talk anything except for the currency. Where is rupee headed? Because their entire portfolio gets translated into. Because their equity shares are rupee held, there's no hedging. So clearly that's the first concern. Then after that, anything else comes in. So stabilization of rupee is the paramount right now.
Ramdev, do you think a big retest has happened in the economy, and domestic-oriented sectors like banks and capital stocks will not make a comeback despite attractive valuations?
Yeah, that's the trade we are already seeing, much more pronounced now. As rupee has hit, I mean, because this 5-6 rupees has come very quickly in last 1 month. So obviously the entire, if you see the green side, I mean, the pluses are the companies, either they are very big exporters like tech or pharma, or the companies even in the manufacturing who have the bent up mind to export more. So I think there will be one more segment which will get eventually benefited, which is not that pronounced right now, is the import substitute companies, the companies which are catering to large domestic demand, but which are facing right now competition from the imports. And as the imports become more expensive, I think the domestic competitiveness and their margins will increase. Say like integrated steel plants, they were facing the imports from cheap steel from outside. They will not only get the complete market to themselves at a higher margin, they'll also be able, they are so competitive now that they can export bulk of the surplus they have to the outside this thing, and they can utilize the plant 100%. So I think those kind of transformation in the business models are also going to happen.
Well, Nifty futures are up by about 81 points, and there is a premium which is building up there. So there is definitely an element of short covering or short squeeze. We started off flat, but now after a flat start, it's an 80-point uptick. So markets are really making some kind of a comeback. So let's really hope the comeback continues. Ramdev, today ITC has cracked below 300. The FMCG index is down by about 15-16% from the recent high. Do you think now the froth is out of the system and it's time to revisit classic defensives, Nestle, ITC, HUL?
Yes, because it has corrected, but not that kind of deeply that it becomes a sure buy. In the sense that yes, they have corrected by 15% or 10 to 15%, but I would think that right now, instead of piling on them across, I mean, there are selective few names which are reasonably priced with the growth and kind of correction, but not across the board.
Ramdev, IT has a large 17% weightage on the index, and banks have 30% on the Nifty. What is the ideal sectoral allocation in this kind of a market?
IT, pharma, and other export-oriented companies, like there could be an automobile company, there could be some other manufacturing company. A whole lot of export orientation could be a very large portfolio allocation.
50%, Ramdev, 50% to exporters directly, indirectly. Okay, Ramdev, finally, what about banks? Banks like ICICI Bank and Axis Bank have gone below the book. Do you think banks now have reached the deep end of the sea when it comes to valuations, and valuations are looking tempting? They may fall by 5-6%, but they are likely to fall much more?
See, as far as valuation, I think we are putting valuation unnecessarily in the front right now, because they are really too deeply into the trouble in terms of credit cycle. So what we need to really figure out is, are we through with the credit cycle rather than looking at the valuation? The moment we say that credit cycle is complete and from here onwards economy is going to start recovering, that's the time, irrespective of whether it is at 0.4 book or 0.6 book. If you buy a cyclical, I mean, these are banking is cyclical and PSU banks are super cyclical. So you should buy cyclical when you get either it should be absolute throwaway price, which is what we are reaching to, or you see signs of recovery. The kind of nature of market we are in, where people don't want to wait for some time for the recovery or further losses from here. In that case, I would think that wait for the signs of recovery in the economy. And we heard 2-3 bankers, and we realized that they are saying that still there is no sign at the end of the tunnel. I mean, there is no capex recovery, there is no demand recovery, there is no more proposals coming in, though a lot of clearances are there. But I think you got to give 2-3 more months time before government is done in terms of all the measures they want to take.
Okay, Ramdev, good having you on the show. Really appreciate you taking the time out and speaking with us today.